It's now 7 o'clock and we do have a quorum, so I'll call the meeting to order. First item is the adoption of the agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. That's moved by Natasha, seconded by Grant. Any discussion, changes? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item 3, declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. Nobody? Item 4, delegations, presentations, or petitions. On Monday night, 4.1, we had a presentation by Michael Malte of McElhaney Engineering on the Utilidor system. A question has arisen since then. A copy of Michael's letter was emailed out to everybody regarding what type of display we wanted. So has anybody got a suggestion on what we should do? Councillor Devlin.
I just wanted to say that I concur with administration's suggestion, recommendation of the permanent installation. I really like that idea. I find that the ones that you can, well, there is certainly some pros on the ones that we can certainly put in and out pieces of art of different artists. I fear that like many communities across Canada, you'll get one of these things and we'll only get half of them filled at one time, or ones will be missing. And so eventually it'll just sort of fall apart. The permanent one sort of gives it an identity that we can sort of be proud of, appear in photographs, et cetera, et cetera. So I concur with administration's recommendation.
Good points, Tony. Thank you for that. Councillor Gallants.
Yeah, I also support the administration's recommendation, and I'm thinking more of it from the context of a structural side. Usually one piece is stronger than multiple pieces. It's a fairly high spot, and I'm worried if something were to happen to individual pieces and they become loose, they fall, they, just question liability for the town and possible injury for residents. So,
thank you. Any other comments? Deputy Mayor Kulikowski.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. I guess just further to Councillor Devon and Gowan's comments, I agree the permanent type of structure is probably the best way to go. I guess tonight we are just looking for a decision from council to say yes, we want to go one way or another. When it comes to the design of it, is it something where we would look at going with the motifs that kind of the town has started the branding with, or would be looking at like individual artist calls, or is that just way down the road when we get to that part? For now, this is all they need is which type we want. Just looking for clarification. Thanks.
Yeah, I believe that's down the road, Deputy Mayor. Grant, can you confirm that?
Certainly. What we'll do is they're just looking because it won't make some difference on the structure of how they build it, but then they have a better idea of certain points on the bridge. It'll also allow us, by potentially not doing it this year, the artwork gives us better time to do better community consultation on what they'd like to see up there. Like what we were just given is some concepts, but I think we need to look at from a community point of view what different artists, different things to do as to within the certain parameters from a structural point of view, as I noted, with wind loads and snow loads, et cetera, et cetera. Don't know if that answered the question for you.
Thank you. Any other comments, or is anybody opposed to the permanent display? Okay, well, thank you very much. I don't think we need a vote on that. Everybody seems to be in agreement. Next is public question period. No questions from the public. SAO Hood?
I have not received any.
Great. 6.1. Minutes of the January 10th and 12th, 2022 council meeting. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Gowans, seconded by Councillor Devlin. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next is the action items list, item 7.1. Any comments? New business, item 8.1. The 2022 property tax auction. Be it resolved that in accordance with the Property Assessment and Taxation Act, the Inuvik Town Council will auction specified properties at the Town Council Chambers or Midnight Sun Complex at 9 a.m. on Thursday, March the 3rd, 2022. Minimum sale price shall be 50% of the assessed value as listed for each property. Each property shall be auctioned on the condition that taxes are 2 years in arrears at the time of the auction. I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move that.
Moved by Councillor Merrill, seconded by
Yes.
Councillor Harder. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item 8.2, appointment of Chidi Amobi as the auctioneer for the 2022 tax auction. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Gowans and Councillor Devlin. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 9.1, solid waste levy bylaw. Third and final reading. Be it resolved that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives third and final reading to bylaw 2677/UTIL/22, solid waste levy bylaw. Need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move that.
Councillor Merrow and Councillor or Deputy Mayor Kulikowski. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
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 It's carried. Item 9.2. Water and sewer utility rates bylaw. Bylaw 2678/UTIL/22, third and final reading. I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move that.
Councillor Gowans and Councillor Devlin. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Clarence, you're muted.
You're muted, Clarence.
Nobody here can read lips, huh? Okay, 9.3. Excuse me, a bylaw to appoint a director of finance. Be it resolved that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2679/APP/22, a bylaw to appoint a director of finance, and that is Chidi Amobi. A mover and a seconder.
I'll move that.
Councillor Harder and Councillor Gowans. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Motion's carried. Second reading of the same bylaw. I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll second that. Or I'll first it.
Councillor Merrow and Deputy Mayor Kulikowski. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. 9.4, the interim tax billing bylaw 2680/tax/22. First and second reading. Be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2680/tax/22. The 2022 interim tax billing bylaw. Mover and a seconder. Councillor Devlin. Deputy Mayor
I'll move.
Kulikowski. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Second reading for the same bylaw. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Gowans and Councillor Wainman. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. 9.5, the new proposed property class bylaw, and that was adding for the inclusion of the undeveloped residential category. Be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2681/tax/22, a bylaw to establish property classes. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Devlin and Councillor Gowans. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Second reading, same bylaw. Mover and seconder.
I'll move that.
Councillor Harder and Councillor Merrill. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Item 9.6. New proposed installment tax payment plan bylaw. Motion 1, be it resolved that Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2682/tax/22, a bylaw to implement an installment tax payment plan. A mover and a seconder.
I'll move that.
Councillor Gowans and Councillor Wainman. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Second reading, same bylaw. Mover and seconder. Councillor Wainman and Councillor Devlin. All in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 9.7. Bylaw to provide property tax exemptions for churches. Be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2683/tax/22, a bylaw to allow exemptions from municipal taxation. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Wainman and Councillor Gowans. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Oh, can I ask a question?
Yes.
How is a church being defined? The same way it's defined by Canada Revenue?
SAO Hood?
I believe it is considered, if it's a place of worship, defined, I think it's could be in the Property Assessment and Taxation Act as well. And there may be a definition also, and I'll point out that it is only the place of worship lot that is exempt. If there's a parking lot, such as with the mosque or any residence, those are taxable. It is only the actual place of worship that is exempt under this.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I need a mover and a seconder for first reading. Councillor Wainman, Councillor Gowans. All in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Second reading, I mover and a seconder. Councillor Harry and Councillor Wainman. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 9.8. To repeal a number of bylaws that no longer have any force or effect. The bylaws were attached. So be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2684/GEN/22, a bylaw to repeal bylaws that no longer have any force or effect. Mover and a seconder. Councillor Wainman and Councillor Airy. Any questions? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Second reading, same bylaw. Mover and a seconder. Deputy Mayor Kulikowski and Councillor Wainman. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Department head reports. We have the Economic Development and Tourism Report, Public Services Report, and the Protective Services Report. I need a mover and a seconder for the reports, and then we'll discuss. So, Councillor Wainman and Councillor Devlin. Any questions on the reports? Any comments? Again, I'd like to thank everybody that was involved with the Sunrise Festival. Putting that on, they did an excellent job and it was well received. Anyway, I need a motion to accept the reports. Councillor Gowans and Councillor Wainman. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion's carried. 11.1 is the strategic priorities chart, which we'll be discussing not this weekend, but next weekend at our strategic planning session. 11.2, sorry?
Sorry, it sounds like we're trying to escape from a room there with the banging.
Oh,
Quick
there.
question.
I'll shut my doors.
Oh.
Hang on.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, they're doing a little bit of construction at the back of the office here.
Oh, I thought maybe you just wanted out, Grant.
Never.
Given the current COVID outbreak, are we still going to meet next weekend?
We have gotten permission from the public health officer. The facilitator coming in has received an exemption and has applied. We'll get off the plane, get tested and that, but we have and did apply and have gotten an exemption for next weekend.
Okay, thank you.
We'll just, as long as we'll keep our physical distancing and masking, et cetera, just to be on the safe side. But given the type of talk that it is, or the interaction that we need, the best thing to do is actually in person.
No, I understand that completely. Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, next item is 11.2 from Aurora Research Institute, just information on various projects. 11.3 is the meeting notes, I should say, of the January 19th Bylaw Review Committee. Any questions on that? Well, I think we've covered everything. Council concerns, item 12, any concerns? Oh, Councillor Wainman.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I was trying to jump in on your sign before. I said you're talking about all this for the overpass there. Does anyone consider doing any kind of information sign added to the art and all that, like electronic board with weather and information for the community? And I jumped in a little late here. My computer wasn't kicking in. Finally got it working, but I know we're talking about art and all kinds of artwork, but how about an information stuff sign, like, the weather, the temperature, events coming up, a rolling board or something? I don't know. Has anyone ever thought of that, or?
Any comments? SAO Hood, what do you think?
Well, it's certainly something that can be looked at. different, again, one of the concerns that the engineers do have is depending on what type goes up there because of wind and snow load on there and the effects if you have a solid type of attachment, what it can do to the structure. But it, again, all we've decided tonight is that it's not going to be a temporary or one of those ones that we can change every once in a while. So again, when we go through the community consultation, that could be one of the options, kind of a thing.
I don't know, with today's, the way things are with LED signs, there's no weight to them. They're very informative. I mean, you know, the artwork on the sides would be pretty and everything, but a nice informative sign going down to the river or vice coming up. And if it's going to be a permanent structure, it's obviously going to be very skookum. So I was just one of those things I was trying to add in on the end there. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Councillor Devlin, you had a concern?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up that, you know, the Electoral Boundaries Commission is making decisions about MLAs and MLAs in our area. So, and I don't know how other councillors feel, if they're one side of the fence or the other on this. But I am wondering if there is any consensus out there and if there's any appetite for council to send our thoughts as well to the commission as a council. I personally feel it's very important that we retain our current MLA allotment. I've always been a big fighter for sort of keeping things out of Yellowknife, not keeping things out necessarily, but certainly respecting the fact that there's a whole big, huge territory outside of Yellowknife. And I really feel that it would be a huge disservice for Inuvik in particular to be reduced to one MLA, specifically because almost by default, our MLA will be in cabinet and we won't have that dissenting voice as well, which I feel is a very practical way to feel represented up here. That's just again, I don't want to speak for council or anyone else. That's just my personal thoughts. And I just thought that, you know, if there is consensus on council in one way, direction or the other, that we may be able to formalize our thoughts during this public comment period. And I figured that it may carry a bit of weight if council, you know, so deemed or so deigned this something that might be relevant. So thank you for your time.
I totally agree with you, Tony. Councillor Deputy Mayor Kulikowski.
Thank you. Yeah, I would agree too that if council's in agreement that a letter from Inuvik Town Council and the mayor would be something that we should or could send in support of keeping our two MLAs. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Councillor Gowans.
I think the town fought hard to get that second seat in the assembly, and I'd rather keep that second seat and have a stronger voice for our community.
Thank you. Councillor Wainman.
No, I'm with everyone else. I'd like to have two MLAs because we got both sides of the government. We can have so we're currently right now we have a minister and we have a regular MLA. So we're on both sides of the government. I like how it currently is. I don't think we should be giving up an MLA or anything. So thank you.
No, I don't want to see the balance of power go any more to Yellowknife than it already is, to be quite frank. Anyway, thank you for that. If council wishes, I'll sit down and use my creative writing abilities to write a letter on this. Of course, I won't send it out until council's had a chance to criticize what I put down.
We'll fix your spelling for you.
Oh, thank you for that. Okay, any other concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn. Councillor Wainman and Deputy Mayor Kulikowski. All those in favor?
Yes.